What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Lonnie Reacts, and tonight we are back with another reaction video. Now this video is by Chijutsu, and the video is titled "Nobody Talks About How Peak Cars Really Was." Now I definitely agree, bro. As a kid growing up, Cars was my favorite movie, bro, and that's also the reason red is my favorite color till this day. Lightning McQueen. I used to love Lightning McQueen. Used to have Lightning McQueen toys. I used to have a Lightning McQueen bed. I used to have Lightning McQueen covers. Man, a Lightning McQueen everything. But as usual, I don't have too much to say. Let's just jump into this video. It is a little lengthy, but who cares?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's time for some more peek. This movie right here, bruh. But this movie right here, bruh. You know what? Hold this. Ka-chow. So the movie starts off, we got our main guy here talking to himself. Bro like, speed plus speed equals me. His partner opened up the door and bro came out like one of them ones, boy. Bro revving the engine like a YN in a Publix parking lot, and they deep in this mud. Look at all the flashing lights. An epileptic's worst nightmare. But this is the piston cup, and we got everybody getting laced up with the new grippers and running their early laps. Chick Hicks, one of the top racers due to his dirty play. Strip Weathers, the legendary OG with the big bucks, and Lightning McQueen, one of the new and up-and-coming grunts. Welcome to the Dynaco 400. I'm Bob Cutlass, and this is my nigga, Daryl Cartrip. Yeah, you know we in this mug, watching all kinds of speed. At the moment, we have a three-way tie between the top racers, and whoever wins this race will be given the Piston Cup. We get to the race, and we already seeing some grimy-ish. Bro, Chick spun our boy McQueen out, and now he in the back of the pack. But if it couldn't get no more grimy in this mug, Chick then proceeds to cause straight mayhem on the track. And I know as a kid, I didn't really think about it, but in cars, there isn't a person driving the cars. These are their bodies, real deal sentient cars out here. So moving at 200 plus miles per hour around a track and crashing probably feels like catching a haymaker from Francis Ngannou. And you know McQueen had to put on that plot glaze. They got bro weaving the ruckus like he got a Sharon gun. And if the riders couldn't glaze this goofy enough, man's hit the vert off the Heezy, started clip farming in this mug, got the twins in the stands foaming at the mouth. He catches all the way back up, but the dummy disregarded his pit crew. You would think after burning all that rubber, you would want to pit at least once, my brother. He even stopped in the pit just to tell his gang he only needed gas. Like we thought, the dummy selling the bag, cause he nears the last lap and blew a freaking tire. Who would have thought? Stripping Chick speed up and he pops another butt cheek, dragging them naked wheels across the finish line in the nick of time. And apparently McQueen is really a dickhead. Bro didn't say he a one-man show, so his crew quits on him mid-interview, and the press is really glazing bro. Got Chick looking lonely out here, and here comes another adult realization. So the twins pull up, and if memory serves me right, these cars are their bodies. So this means that Pixar had cars flashing boobies in front of my 6-year-old eyes as a boy. Another thing that's crazy to me is how all these old bangers were ahead of their time with the graphics. No cap, these mugs still hold up today. After all the waiting, the rest came on the intercom to tell us it ended up being a three-way tie, and the winners race again in 1 week to decide who the real Piston Cup winner. So it's time to head out, and McQueen is in a rush to get to Cali for the Piston Cup. But first he has to go through his sponsor's tent, which is Rusty's, a company who sells bumper ointment. And no cap, I probably wouldn't want to be sponsored by these fools either. They got the equivalent to car herpes. Look at bro, he done glazed so hard his jaw done fell off. But McQueen ends up getting out of there, and here comes the song that had me in a chokehold as a kid. Pause. But during this trip, McQueen's driver ends up feeling them effects of a long day on the road. Bro was getting tired and wanted to rest, but the red prick wouldn't let Mac get the beautiful slumber he so desired. Then he over here capped up telling Mac he'll stay up with him. Fool was asleep within 5 minutes of saying that bull. These YN cars came up on hooligan activity. Man started serenading Mac with the smooth jazz. Now our guy is slumped and started veering off the edge. The guard bumps made McQueen open his trailer door. Now bro in the middle of the road finna get glazed by an 18-wheeler. He weaves truck coon and now he's lost. But somehow bro really thought he spotted Mac out of all these semi-trucks. But like a dummy, he chased bro down and it wasn't Mac. And like an even bigger dummy, instead of going back where he knew Mac and the interstate was, he decides to hit the back roads. So he speeds past the state trooper and bro woke up like, oops. that? So bro chases him down, and McQueen was finna stop and ask for help, but then OG started hitting the old tootin' scoop, and McQueen thought he was letting off the kablam. Anyways, it's the next day, and we got this buck-toothed rust bucket staring at bro, but he slings that toe into his rear end and takes him to court. They pull up to court, and Doc Hudson, the big kahunas of town, decides he just wants bro out of his town. But after seeing that startled look, I knew that was a bunch of horse dookie. But this poor shawty came in on Karen timing. She was trying to prosecute McQueen to the fullest extent, all while bro over here trying to run negative game. Mans, that's the anti-Riz. But Sally ends up getting Doc to make McQueen fix the road of little old Radiator Springs. So now it's time for bro's parole work, and he has to pull this queso-sized machine named Bessie to fix the road. Doc tells him it'll take about 5 days if he does it right, and by the pouting old look bro just gave, I knew it was up. They go to take off the boot, and bro got in the wind, but Doc had that 200 IQ and only put enough gas in him where he'll stop right at the edge of town. Got the sheriff just over here cackling, so now they take him back to Radiator Springs to fix the road again. Meanwhile, 2 customers ride through town, and everybody getting antsy because they ain't seen tourists in years. Then they give McQueen that nigga treatment. Soon as he gets to blabbering, they lock their doors. Had me over here rolling, boy. And McQueen getting them visions of Chick getting the Dynaco sponsorship before him, so he revs up them engines and starts finishing the road quicker than usual. Mater went and told Doc he was done, and that mug is bumpier than a highway in Alabama, so they try to make him take it off. But bro like, hey cuz, do you know what a race car is? I can't be doing this crap. Doc was like, oh, we got us a racer, folks. Well, let's race then, Goofy. Whoever wins has to fix the road the right way. So McQueen takes him up on his bet. These two go to the dirt track, and it's a one lap takes all. But soon as they started, we see McQueen drifting like he on lap 7 of Baby Park. But bro is not a Tokyo drifter. He ends up eating straight dookie off the cliff. Mans can't turn for nothing. Went noggin first into some cactus. So McQueen now has to scrape up and redo the whole road.
Many hours later.
Yeah, we see bro been in his bag for real with that road work, but he is not nearly done. He actually went to the dirt track again to try his hand at that drift. To no avail though. The fool who is a living car doesn't know how to drive himself. But that's besides the point. Doc gives man some advice on how to make the drift, but of course, McQueen low-key still hating, so he shoos OG off. So he goes back to finish the road, and his Porsche crush went up to ask him if he wanted to stay at her Cone motel spot. Then he sees her car tramp stamp. Once again, a small detail for the adults that we didn't understand as kids. Well, at least I didn't. Mater over here yapping and challenges old McQueen to a tractor tipping competition. The fools go in, and Mater demonstrates how the game goes and tips a tractor. Got my guy scared out his mind, tootin' and pootin'. But being a race car, McQueen doesn't have a horn, so he has to rev his engine and goes on to tip all the tractors around the area. But all that ruckus woke up the bull of the yard.
That's Frank.
Mater got gone on bro. McQueen over here finna soil his exhaust, but they escape and ride back to town. Mater used to have me rolling with the comedic relief he provided in these car series.
Mater
That
was
joint
one
was
of them
2P.
niggas, bro.
Man's definitely missing the side of his brain.
Go out with
Out
him,
here
bro, you
cracking
know it's
out
gonna
through
be
the
a
city. While sleeping, Frank running through bro's dream like Freddy Krueger. So he wakes up and goes to get his gas ration from the sheriff and walks straight into a diddler procedure. Doc shoos him away, and man started getting nosy. Then finds out that Doc has 3 piston cups and what's the legendary Hudson Hornet. All that nosiness got Doc over here in his feels. McQueen is ecstatic though and tries to tell everyone about Doc, but he low-key on meat, and they don't believe this goofy anyways. So Sally fills up McQueen's tank, and they go on this romantic old drive, going through these twisties together. Got them both
This is one of
riled
my
up.
favorite
So they
scenes.
stop at this old hotel. They gaze at the view, and Sally tells McQueen how Radiator Springs used to be one of the
lit.
most popular tourist spots until they put that dang interstate between them. The city used to be bustling, and now it's a ghost town. Anyways, enough of the romance. We're back at town, and Mater up to no good. Bro done released the tractors, now they running amok through the town. McQueen went off to redirect one of the lost ones and stumbles upon Doc just sitting there like a smooth brain. McQueen just fiending for Doc to put the pedal down. Man's got the slicks on and everything. He gets his wish though, and Doc takes off. Bro was in the wind too. He got all the way up to that hard turn and slid that mud like a true speedster. Got McQueen frothing at the mouth now, cause he went right up to him, fiending for some racing tips. But Doc wasn't having it and drove off. But it was warranted though. Doc loves the game, but we find out he had a huge crash back in his day. So every time he sees McQueen, it reminds him of himself. Man, I'm a dog. I got hope. Now go fix that road. So fast forward a bit and it's the next day, and McQueen done finished the road way ahead of schedule. Got the town folk flabbergasted, and the road looks nice too, no cap. While they all getting emotional cause they thought McQueen left, he slides in like, what we looking at? But before leaving, McQueen asks Luigi to give him a tire change, and they got bro looking too icy, boy. The white wall tires Guido put on bro, too smooth. Then he makes his run through all the shops in town. Last stop at Pimp My Ride from Ramon. That Radiator Springs kid got Sally getting moist out here. While they all having a good time, out of nowhere, the paparazzi come through on McQueen's bumper. Turns out, Doc called them to get bro out of here. He low-key still hating. Matt came in full head of steam, and McQueen didn't even get
Doc
to say
wasn't
a
really
proper
hating her.
goodbye to his new friends of Radiator Springs.
knew McQueen
Now it's
had that
race
race
day,
coming
and
up.
it's just McQueen and Matt. Bro finna do a 200-lap race with no pit crew. Yeah, it's up for broski. And they done shut down the whole country for this race, calling this mode the race of the century. That flag drops, and it seems like McQueen is out of it. He doesn't look like himself. You can tell bro is reminiscing about his partners. He gets back to it, and here's Doc come on the mic. The whole gang's here now. So Mans goes balls to the walls to catch up with stripping chick. Meanwhile, all the fans noticing McQueen has the legendary Hudson Hornet as his pit crew chief. After passing these two, we see that chick's pit crew is also a bunch of dickheads. They over here taunting our guy Guido, but that will
Yeah,
all
Guido
come
shows
crashing
that.
down on their noggin real soon. My boy Luigi had to hold them back, lap after lap after lap. Chick had to pull out the grimy maneuver and tries to curb slide our boy, but he done learned
Yep,
from the
from
best
Mater.
backwards driver in the world. Mater got McQueen sliding this mud backwards at max speed. Not really sure how that works, but I'll take it. Long as my nigga wins this race. Now they all on the same lap count, and McQueen catches a flat, but he pulls into the
It's
pit,
okay, though.
and Guido got straight
It's
to
okay,
work,
though.
threw the tires up, and laced McQueen with the new grippers before the mugs even hit
you
the
talking about?
ground. Got Chick's pit crew in shambles at this site, and here comes our
Still
bro.
to this day, this is one of the hardest scenes I done ever seen, bro. That shit was so tough, bro. I love Guido.
Moment. After catching up, he gets bumped into the dirt and then hits the infamous counter drift to get back in it. Everyone thought it was cookies for him. Got these two tossing out Duck Dynasty quotes.
Move like a Cadillac, sting like a Beamer.
But as McQueen passes Chicken Strip, bro, Chick had that hate building up in his engine. Bro was like, if I lose, you lose too, OG. And I mean losing your life. Bro rear-ended Strip, and bro got into a nasty crash. McQueen sees this and stops right at the finish line. Had me in my seat like... But bro goes back and pushes Strip across the line to show that sportsmanship. Chick might have won the cup, but he didn't win the people. They got back to the pits, and the Dynaco CEO still offers bro that max contract, but McQueen done unlocked his full plot armor. He don't need that money on no more, and stays with the trusty old Rusty's boys. After this, we back.
I always love that scene. I don't know. I don't know. He's just like, I'm gonna stay with my guys.
In Radiator
for coughing, man.
Springs,
It's
and bro
bad.
McQueen done brought the traffic back to the city because he's setting up his racing HQ here. Bro won the racing fans over, got his girl, got some friends. What more can you ask for?
Speed. Speed.
I think this is
Your
my favorite
speed?
car.
That Francesco is triple speed. Oh!
Damn good.
PTSD, mother the big three. Nigga, it's just big me, nigga. Boom. I'm really like that. And your best work is a light pack, nigga. Prince outlived Mike Jack, nigga. Boom.
So the movie starts, and we're getting these James Bond vibes.
Oh, God.
This fool came out the shadow.
This I think this was my favorite movie. It was so fucking different, bro. It was like, what the fuck? I remember watching this in the movie theaters like when I was like 6, 7 years old, bro. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm thinking to myself, what?
Was talking about he was looking for a car. Like no dip, Sherlock. Everybody you know is a car. It's not like there are any humans in this mug anyways. But apparently bro has paid this crab boat to take him to this location. And I don't know what they got going on in here, but tell me why this battleship came out of thin air with the missile launcher ready for any smoke. The crab boat apologizes to Double Honda back there, but bro was already gone. Then it switches and he's dangling on the side of the boat like he's the real Peter Parker. So they pull up to this oil rig in the middle of the ocean. Bro hits the zip, and what kind of gadgets these riders done gave these cars? We really got cars out here moving like they doing human tasks. Double O Honda rides up to the side of the oil rig. He gets to the top, and we find out bro's name is Finn McMissile, and whoever bro is trying to communicate with is not hearing the message. Meanwhile, there's a lot of villainous cars scheming something down here in the lot. Like here, Professor Zundap, an infamous weapons designer. The goons opened up the case, and it looks just like any old camera, but Zundap tells them it's actually a dangerous weapon. Finn then goes to investigate further and gets spotted after discovering his partner was turned into a Rubik's Cube. So he starts letting off shots and ends up getting surrounded. So he swings away onto the crane and escapes onto one of the main floors. Bro is tearing through these goons, hit him with the oil slick maneuver. And look how long it took bro to hit the water. And I know it must have felt like concrete, because when bro hit the water, he completely dismantled. Finn goes up the roundabout and led all the goons to the helipad, where he seemingly jumped off to his demise. But we know he's a real guru with this spy stuff. Bro converted into a boat and started evading everybody. They all flabbergasted at how bro is still living. Then they shot a dang nuke at dude and thought they got him. Hey professor, he's DEAD. Dead. Yes, that meddling Honda is finally packed. But dude is indeed not dead and swam off. Then it pans to our favorite tow truck, Mater. He pulled behind this lemon car and hooked him up, taking him back to the city. But when he spots his homie McQueen, bro started tweaking and got dude's rear end getting mighty comfortable with that asphalt. He gets there and they hit a real handshake. All this tire bumping was low-key tough too. And we also get a sudden sad moment as Mater and McQueen reminisce about old Doc Hudson, who passed away between this movie and the first. But now it's time for best friend fun time, and they're getting into all kinds of mischief. But eventually, McQueen has to ditch Mater and go spend time with his shawty Sally. And it's really cool to see how they have rebuilt Radiator Springs into a renowned tourist spot. During Sally and McQueen's dinner, Mater crashes the occasion, but then we see some major news about this oil billionaire, Miles Axelrod, who sold his fortune and has devoted his life to making this renewable clean fuel, supposedly. And he's created the World Grand Prix race to put his new oil on the map. During his interview, they show this stupidly fast car, Francesco Bernoulli. Somehow the topic of McQueen not racing comes up, and we find out Francesco is a dog. Bro is like, McQueen, is this yours king? I would gap that modified trash cannon to oblivion. Got the Radiator Springs crew heated. Mater had to call in just to talk his ish. Told him how McQueen would really dog bro out in the race. Everyone came in to see what the hype about, and Sally immediately starts salivating when she sees Francesco on the screen. Got McQueen questioning his relationship, like, bro, get your shawty. So McQueen pulls Mater off the line and starts talking his junk too. These fools end up starting a beef and both agree to race in the upcoming World Grand Prix. So everybody gets loaded to head off for Japan for the first race. The car series is definitely still some heat, but it always baffles me when I realize how these are really some living motor vehicles. But they land in Japan and go sightseeing as soon as they touch down, and bro McQueen getting that global glaze. Man's got his own gift shop. Now they at the red carpet, and this event has pulled out all the stops. The venue is bonkers. McQueen tries to hit Mater about how he needs to act around these other cars, cause bro isn't trying to get embarrassed. But Mater is an embarrassment magnet, cause they pull up to Francesco and stuff gets started between these two ops. Then it cuts to old Finn pulling up to the spot to do some surveillance. Another agent from a different agency came over to give him a message. She tells Finn that the photos came back negative for that camera being a weapon of destruction. Then she tells bro how they found out who the mastermind is behind that huge oil rig, and an American agent will drop it off by the end of the night. It cuts to Mater, and bro is about to eat a glob of wasabi because he thought it was ice cream. Like, bro. Alright, and the chef was trying to warn him too. You're cooked, buddy. While McQueen getting introduced, Mater came down the ramp like Mike with his tongue out. Stop it. That wasabi putting belt to butt on dude. All the cars in the event looking at McQueen like, is he with you? Bro, Mater even started leaking oil. That's like the equivalent of pissing your pants in the human world. So he went to get cleaned up, and what the heck is this bathroom? That mug kinda freaky for real. It locked bro down and started going ham on dude. Then we see that American agent come in to drop the message to
remember him. He
Finn,
got the
but the
shit beat
goons
out of him.
pulled up on timing and started giving dude CTE. Right before they finna grease old dude, Mater came out and the agent put the beacon onto Mater. Now the whole mission is getting tarnished. The agencies are thinking that Mater is the American agent. He went to tell McQueen that him and that agent got a date tomorrow, but it's really just a rendezvous for the agent to get the information. There's a scene switch to the real American agent, and it's not looking good for bro. They tell bro that the all-in-all Axelrod loves so much has a weakness. Once you hit it with an electrical pulse, it makes car go boom. And that grimy professor, you know what he did? Made the agent go boom. He really should have crashed out before he died because he low-key went outside. It's the next day and time for the World Grand
did
Prix
go
race.
outside.
Hi folks, it's Brent Mustang Burger with my niggas Daryl Cartrip and David Hobbs Cap. Today's race is one for the ages. David, could you tell us about it? Yes, Brent. So there will be 3 different courses, which will be for round the house racing. But we all know Francesco will be the winner of these races. And let me pause right here. Like, come on now, David. Get Francesco's exhaust out your mouth. Daryl had to step in to defend the
exhaust out your
American
mouth.
racing cars like McQueen, because these reporters are glazing. Down on the track, McQueen trying to hit his famous pre-race pep talk, but as soon as he hit that speed plus speed equals me, Francesco was like, got McQueen heated. The race starts and McQueen is really moving through these goofies. In another area of the course, we see Finn and Shawty conversing about the rendezvous with Mater later. Low key, whoever designed this racetrack, they was cooking. No cap. I could see this mud being a fire
Nah,
course
in
in
the
Mario
video
Kart,
game, on
but
my
when
life.
that camera zoomed out, I knew somebody was finna get hold. He turned up the meter and pop goes the weasel. Miguel Camino is out for the count. During the commotion, the goons spot Mater and go off to stand on business, but Finn and Holly were on it and went to defend bro. She calls Mater and tells him to leave the pits, and Mater still thinks he's heading to a date, but he rides off and Finn is knocking the enemies off one by one. He's too smooth with it. But while Mater is following Holly's directions, he is still on the mic and causes McQueen to sell in the race. Now Francesco
God.
done grabbed the lead and
forgot
wins the
about
first
this.
race.
Oh
So
my
McQueen
God.
goes to press Mater afterwards and tells him to lock in before he tweaks out. Now
Mater-
Mater all sad and
I love Mater. Oh my God, but Jesus Mater. Jesus
jump.
Mater.
And the press is on Miles's bumper, blaming his all-in-all for the spontaneous car combustions. It's the next day, and Mater goes to the airport to try and leave because McQueen is mad at dude. But Finn interrupts and takes bro somewhere they can talk. Finn introduced himself, and during the small talk, Finn spot the goons and takes Mater away to safety. They hop out the window and drive all the way through the airport runway. These sequences of scenes were so cold too. We got missiles, explosions, guns, fighter jets. This is really
This shit
straight
was
peak
tough. I
animation for real. But they make it onto the jet and took out all the goons in the process. On the private jet, they revealed the photo of the mastermind behind this whole thing, but come up short because the photo doesn't reveal anything actually, but only some parts that can be tracked. Mater does come in clutch though, telling them whoever the photo is of has gotten their parts replaced. And tell me why no one is asking the real question. Why is nobody legit checking bro? He's clearly not a spy. Now it's off to Paris, and these cars really just giving off that wee wee.
They probably
vibe,
just
get
thought,
me?
you know,
This
Americans are stupid, you know.
scenery is low-key kind of tough too. They pull into this underground shopping center and Finn spots some goons plotting some ish in the gully, but of course Mater being Mater gets spotted by the ops. So Buddy drives off and they chasing him down through the street market. He ends up getting tripped
Jumped out
and
the
they take
window.
him to the garage. He turns out to be Finn's informant working with the goons undercover. They show Buddy the photo and he basically said the same thing as Mater, but also that he's the one who sold Buddy all those new parts. But bro only did business over the phone, so he never got the chance to see him in person. So they deduce that all the goons are lemons, or cars that won't work, as Mater would say, and they all take orders from the lemon overlord who is in this photo. Next stop, Italy, and it's time to make some lemonade. Okay, my bad. Sorry for that joke. It was way funnier in my head. So the plan is to disguise Mater as a tow truck. He will tow in one of the head lemons to infiltrate the venue. Then it pans to McQueen pulling up to Luigi's hometown, all sad and mopey about the Mater situation. So Papa Luigi had to pull him aside to talk some sense into him. Back with Mater, they start putting bro's costume on and take him through the whole John Wick process. Man's got some new paint and they done pulled out the blickies. Now it's time for the next race of the World Grand Prix and they still grilling Miles. But them people really came to see the duel between Francesco and McQueen. But bro is still down in the dumps about Mater. And this fool Francesco has to be one of the pettiest niggas I've ever seen. This goofy had me rolling every time he trolled McQueen. The race is off and these fools immediately getting the win down this track. But back at the Lemon venue, they initiate plan Undercover Mater, turning bro right here into a vegetable and sending Mater in to replace him. The old Lemon opened the gate and Mater took him in. And inside, they got the function turned up. These old Cadillacs and Lincolns playing blackjack and rolling dice in this mug. So they get the meeting started and the head Lemon isn't even there. Bro had to hop in on a Zoom call because he blew his clutch. So the head Lemon proceeded with business as usual and put some fire under these other lemons. He dropped them flat screens down and what do we know? Another racer done blew her engine. Got these geezers in here cackling. These fools foaming at the mouth watching the racers get shot down. But Holly uses that heat radar to detect the electro pulse coming from the camera. So Finn drives off towards the cameraman. Bro said, forget the street and started house hopping. But he eventually got to his destination after parkouring through the streets of Italy as a freaking car. But these lemons are really locked in and had some precautionary measures lined up for dude. So the goons shot another car causing a major wreck in the race. But McQueen and Francesco could give two chicken knuckles because they kept zooming towards the finish line and McQueen wins the second race. So with this race being a failure, Axelrod had to halt any racers from using his Allenol fuel. In McQueen's interview, he said he's going to keep using the Allenol, and the Lemons were not happy about that. So the head Lemon decided he would put a hit out on McQueen and kill him for wanting to use the Allenol. But that freaked Mater out, and he broke his disguise gadget. Now he's back in base form, and when his Siri malfunctioned, he started letting loose on the Lemons. And there is no freaking way, out of all these shots Mater just let loose, he didn't hit not one of these fools. But hey, that's that Disney magic. But Mater got Hall of Fame luck and escaped by accident to warn McQueen about the Lemons, calling for backup. We have a rust bucket at Gate 9. Tweaking. But Mater barges in anyway and tries to call McQueen. McQueen ended up spotting his toe, but when he made his way through this paparazzi, the Opto truck was there instead, meaning they done got our boy Mater. The goons take him to this trailer and put him to sleep with the laughing gas. Bro is in his dreams going through an identity crisis, reminiscing on all the times he's been holed this trip, but he wakes up tied to the clock Big Ben. We then see Finn and Holly are also tied up, and while talking, Mater finally reveals he's not a spy. He never claimed to be and been trying to tell them the whole time. Then the Lemons pull up to their sniper spot to shoot McQueen. Down with McQueen, we see he's called the whole Radiator Springs crew to Italy. He just knew something was off when he thought he saw Mater because he ended up not even going home. Axelrod drives up to thank McQueen for using the Allenol still. The race starts and look at the Lemons, grinning from headlight to headlight. Preying on these racers' downfall like this is just pure meat eating. As McQueen heads towards Big Ben, the goons heat the laser up, and right before greasing McQueen, he hits a corner getting out of their view. But they say they're gonna move to plan B and just blow that boy McQueen up next time he stops in the pits. So the Lemons leave and Mater spams his miniguns to break out of the ropes. He plays with death on these clock gears and Finn tells him to go free McQueen. So Mater drives off and then Holly locks in for the clutch. She shot her electric ropes and reversed the clock's gears. So they both haul booty to go back up Mater. He warns everyone to get out the pit, but Finn tells bro that they actually replaced Mater's air filter with a bomb. So Mater runs away from McQueen while Dr. Doofenshmirtz is waiting to press the kill button. But Mater's Siri malfunctioned again and turned his rocket boosters on. Now him and McQueen flying through London like some crash outs. Bro was spamming the button too, and I guess they left the range or something. That's why the bomb didn't work. But everyone is now in pursuit of McQueen, both good and bad. But Finn calls ISO on the professor, and ain't no way Finn letting this Volkswagen drag him down this alleyway. But bro was a gadget away from calling game. He sent them sticky grenades into the ship, blowing it up. So Finn takes the professor to Mater and them, and they start pressing bro about the bomb. But in all this panic, they just end up shortening Mater's lifespan to about 3 minutes. But the Lemons surround bro, and Mater tried to pull out the ultimate weapon, the talk, the sad speech that always makes the villains reach rethink all their life choices. But this time, it didn't work because they had an all-out brawl in the streets. But these fools get caught in the end, and they still can't figure out how to get this bomb off Mater. But Mater drives off with a plan though. He launches up into the air with McQueen, and they fly all the way back to the main stage where their queen was. Mater tried to explain the situation, but when everyone seen that bomb, it was locked in. Had the blickies pointed right at Mater's dome. When everyone settled down, Mater pulled a 6ix9ine and snitched on Miles Axelrod. He explains how it was him the whole time, from leaking oil at the party to the ordering of all the new car parts, because Mr. Axelrod here is actually a lemon. So Mater pressed bro and let the shot clock wind all the way down to 1 before Axelrod said deactivate, because he was actually the evil mastermind. So Mater saves the day and gets the honor to become a Knight of London, Sir Toe Mater. Now, not only is McQueen a viral phenom, but Mater is now the savior of London. So Radiator Springs is booming better than ever. They got Mater at the gas station telling the stories to the tourists. We also found out why McQueen didn't explode when the button was pressed. Sarge switched the oil to Fillmore's organic fuel because he never trusted Axelrod from the jump. And a couple hours later, we see the racers from the World Grand Prix lined up for the new annual Radiator Springs Grand Prix. They lined up and took off for the races when it hit green. Mater asked Finn could he keep the rocket boosters, blasting all the way past these fools. So the movie starts and we got McQueen in the dark giving some self-glaze. Bro hit that speed. I am speed. And I was thinking to myself, the last time you said that bull lightning, you popped 2 buck cheeks and barely ended your race in a 3-way tie. But of course, Mater had to interrupt the lock-in. So bro backed out the trailer and McQueen started reminiscing about old Doc Hudson. He dedicated the race to our guy and rode out on timing. And pause right here. Mater has to be one of the best friends anyone can have. Cause one thing bro gonna do is keep it real and support his friends. And McQueen talking jump mid-race telling Cal his blinker was on while he passed him. Had bro's mouth dropped. Then McQueen pulled into the pit and Guido is still that guy. Bro is a one-man pit crew. Going around the last curve, McQueen comes out with the dub, and him and those new rivals of his, Cal and Bobby, are really going back and forth with the dubs, even having a friendly prank war after either of them wins a race. But after that third race, we get a whiff of somebody new coming into the mix. Mans came out the pack like Jin Woo, just aura forming. Then he boosted past the OGs for the seemingly easy dub. This is Jackson Storm. And while talking with McQueen after the race, you could just hear the arrogance in bro's voice. Then bro rolls off into the trailer and flexes on McQueen with the tunes. On the race news, we see that Chick Hicks done retired and now it's a race analyst. And during his segment, he immediately got to hating on McQueen. Bro was roasting bro for losing to Jackson Storm. He brought in a car guru and she explaining how Jackson Storm is just peak racing. He is literally built for this jump from the ground up. Now at the next race, we see Jackson Storm on that YN energy, saying McQueen is on his farewell season. He giving bro that OG treatment. From that phrase on, fool Jackson Storm has completely ran the gauntlet with McQueen and the OGs. Bro won like 7 races in a row, and then McQueen heard about his old rivals are retiring. The YNs got the geezers running, boy. Cal one of them niggas who would do anything to hold on to his positive KD ratio. Plus with the geezers retiring, the whole landscape of the scene changed, leaving just McQueen to represent the old guys. In the season-ending race, McQueen was giving it his all. Bro is really keeping up with the young bucks. Bro is in second place right behind Storm. And after this amazing pit stop,
really tough, bro. Like prime McQueen, bro. He being Storm.
By Guido, we see McQueen take his first lead of the race, but look at the straight face on Storm. Bro is not at the least bit pressed by McQueen. In a matter of 1 lap, bro had hauled McQueen down expeditiously, whispering in bro's face like how Lance Stevenson was to LeBron. Bro told him he had a good run, and Mans pushed through to the barrier. Young buck after young buck. All that pedal to the metal got McQueen's carburetor busted, and he crashes into the wall. And that was a crazy crash, I can't lie. Had Sally on the sidelines like, oh no. Bro got dead so dirty they gave him a slow-mo sequence into some spotlight treatment. It faded out and we are at Radiator Springs with it. McQueen's is in a slump. Bro done put on a car cover and has been marinating in Doc Hudson's old shed for weeks. The racing scene is thinking bro has retired. Bro really cycling through them Doc Hudson flashbacks too. Where Reggie at? Bro must have not had a dad growing up. Bro said he was gonna ride around the block, grab some motor oil and never came back. Actually, how does that work anyways? Do the cars like give birth and stuff? Or maybe they just like transfer consciousness into other cars as they get older? Anyways, Sally came in trying to cheer bro up, and this one of them real gems of a lady or car, I guess, I don't know. She told it to him straight with love. Basically said, hey babe, you need to switch it up on these niggas real quick. Then Mater came in on his shenanigans and went to go call up Rusty and Dusty. They put the sponsors on the Sally, and McQueen is over here edging the game. He was dragging it so bad they thought he was finna retire, but he said it was time to get back to the grind. So Ouija knocked off that primer and Mans was back to himself. McQueen and Mac pull off onto one of them cross-country road trips, and I regret to inform you, but the song for this trip just don't hit like that. Life is a highway, I'm gonna ride it all night long. Pause. They pull up to the new Rusty's Racing Center, and the paparazzi was on McQueen's bumper. Mans cruised through the place and was in awe. Then Rusty and Dusty came over to break the news to Guy. These two goofies done sold the company to this new tech mogul Sterling for like a couple bill probably. They get all sentimental and skirt off into the paparazzi void. And low key, seeing all this memorabilia in the place got me thinking they finna put McQueen to the sixth man coming off the bench while Sterling signs a new rookie. But I guess I was wrong, cause they suit Broski up with a new fit and gave him a tour of the new training grounds. McQueen saw somebody up there casually hitting top speeds bro wish he could hit. Then the trainer came down and we learned her name is Cruz Ramirez. She is the best trainer money could buy. Sterling introduces everybody and Cruz got straight to it. And she hitting bro with the old nigga allegations. These them type of young people who be like, if you anything over 23, you got gray hair and a walking stick in they eyes. But we see this new age training McQueen goes through, and once Cruz was trying to get bro to name his tires, I knew it was up. The next day, McQueen was fed up and ditched training to go in the sim racer. Cruz was telling bro he wasn't ready. Then Sterling pulled up to see what the hype was about. Bro gets to going and was instantly making a fool of himself. And once Jackson Storm came onto the screen and Cruz said bro's racing average was 207 miles per hour, I knew it was time for McQueen to hang up the tires. Mans can't even crack 190, and Sterling up there looking like he finna put bro on the bench.
Average.
Meanwhile, McQueen done tarnished the whole facility. Then Sterling called bro in and gave dude the news telling him he's not gonna race dude down there in Florida. And McQueen low-key started getting heated, but Sterling was like, bro, you're washed up. You're done. Had McQueen begging to be in the starting lineup, so he gave bro one last chance under the condition that Cruz still trains him. So he took off racing down the beach and wanted to know his speeds. So on the next lap, Cruz said she'd stay close to track his speed with her fancy tech. But this was a total disaster. Cruz was one of those iPad kids growing up. She can't function when she actually touches grass. It took these two all day just to get one good lap in. And even then, this slow fool only topped out at 198. Then McQueen had the bright idea to sneak into a dirt derby race to get back into his groove. So Mac dressed up as a dang party supply truck while McQueen got dirtied up for this supposed race. But this grimy looking event manager started hitting the Doofenshmirtz laugh and all chaos started breaking loose. Then when they tried to head out, the guy locks them in, forcing them to race. Then we get introduced to Miss Fritter and her grunts. This is a dang cracked out battle royale race. They get to scooting down the track and I'm talking this absolute chaos and crash out festivities going on everywhere. People wrecking and sliding and blowing up and dying and blowing up and yeah, you get it. It gets to a point where I'm like, bro, what's the pain level for these cars? Cause they're like sentient beings, right? So these are your bodies essentially, I'm assuming. I don't know the anatomy of cars, but Miss Fritter tries to run the runs with Cruz and McQueen saves her in the nick of time. Had Miss Fritter laid out on her side like she's a turtle, but she flung herself up and was on timing. And McQueen over here stuck with something in his tire. Eventually he frees himself and made Miss Fritter look like a doodle bob in the process. Then this random water tank falls over and washes the dirt off his body, blowing his cover. Now he is the talk of the news headlines, and turns out Cruz won the race. Then McQueen goes off, snapping on Cruz for him wasting all this time basically taking care of her and hasn't made any progress in the speed category. Then bro is like, you don't understand. You don't even be racing. She got heated after that and made Matt pull over. She started wearing her heart on her sleeve, had McQueen feeling bad and jumped because she's always wanted to be a racer. And take a guess why that reason was. It was because of McQueen. She was fanned out as a kid and wanted to be just like dude, but at her first race, she choked and felt she didn't belong around all them V12 engines and American muscle, so she just quit. Then we get a sad scene of Cruz riding off all sad and jump. While McQueen is resting that night, he sees the news of Jackson Storm's new lap record at 213 miles per hour. That nigga is zooming. And of course, Chick Hicks, the meat rider, had to show McQueen's little derby moment. Him hearing the news just hating on his name got bro looking tarnished. Old shawty on the TV said, bro has less than a 2% chance of winning. So McQueen calls Mater and tells him he's all out of ideas and doesn't know what to do. Then Mater says something that changed his perspective. So they head to Thomasville to go and talk with Doc Hudson's old trainer, Smokey. They make a little pit stop to Doc's old stomping grounds. The place looks like somewhere they race horses, not cars, but whatever floats their boat. They get a lap in and started hitting that Tokyo drift. You would have thought McQueen was one of them Mopar YNs. Towards the finish line, they run into Smokey and he takes them to the bar to link up with all the racing greats. And they knew McQueen was there to get his mojo back. At the table, everyone started talking about Doc Hudson and how he was a dog back in the day. McQueen pulled Smokey to the side to ask for some help. So Smokey took him to the shop to show bro all the letters Doc had sent since coaching McQueen. Had McQueen all in his feels, but that was all it took. They went straight to the track to start the training arc. Meanwhile, Jackson Storm steady breaking speed records. So Smokey cuts the mufflers off Cruz and uses her to simulate being Jackson Storm for McQueen. After that lap, the training started getting out of hand. I don't know what they doing at this point, but McQueen got 2 days left and nigga is still slow. The gang goes to watch some film on Doc and pulled out some mythical bag work. They're gonna teach McQueen to draft so bro can get in his OG bag. They took bro to the fields so he could draft with the herd. This is apparently good representation of race cars moving at 200 plus miles per hour past your face. And Guido is not holding back on McQueen either. He tried to end bro's career right here. Like, how is this little dwarf forklift throwing anchors off a moving vehicle? That night, the OGs told McQueen and Cruz a little secret. Back in their heyday, they had an old moonshine spot back in the woods. So the group cuts off the lights and head down to the spot. At first, McQueen was having near-death experiences back to back, but then he locked in and was moving down that forest floor and finished it off with the aura boost jump off the cliff. The next morning, McQueen goes to line up for one more race with Cruz before they head off. Once it started, Mans was doing good, using all those OG tactics to the max. But then Cruz went try hard for once and blew past dude despite all his efforts. Now he headed to Florida with the L in the back of his mind. It pans to the racing stadium and this mug couldn't look any more lit than this. They got this mug booming. Down in the trailer, McQueen is having second thoughts about the race now because of Cruz, but rides off to the pits for the lineup and was greeted by his shorty. But mid-convo, Storm came in on his poetry. Man's down here talking like a goofy you really want to hit cross the face. The race is on and Smokey put some pep in his step because when that flag dropped, McQueen was on go. He getting in the wind, zooming through all these speedsters. By around lap 50, he was already near the top 10, but he really wants first and speeds up. In the pits, Sterling is over here ripping Cruz a new one because she's acting like a racer and he pays her to train. Low key, Sterling a dickhead for real. He could have let her at least finish watching the race, but McQueen was listening and told Smokey to get Cruz back because he's realized who the real racer in this stadium is. She pulls up as bro gets to the pits and Guido hooks her up with the racing drip. Then Ramon suited her up with the cleanest graffiti 95 paint job a nigga could give in less than 5 minutes. So after a quick tap sess, Cruz heads out to the race, but when it started back up, she was beginning to lose it. Then McQueen was telling Smokey to tell her a bunch of random sayings to get her head back into it. But after the third one, Smokey was like, I ain't saying that, and gave McQueen the headset. Once McQueen got on the mic, everything started flowing like butter. She moved herself all the way up to top 20. After a bit more racing, Cruz comes in to pit stop, but we all know Guido got her right back into it. She got back on the track and immediately started eating these lanes up. So much so, Storm's crew chief had to let him know Cruz was really hawking-ish back there. But of course, this arrogant goofy ain't stunting her. So dude has the bright idea to slow down on purpose to go and talk junk to Cruz. And if I'm being real with myself, that has to be some of the coldest mess I've seen in the car series. Cause immediately after the trash talk, he proceeds to casually go back to first place. Hey Cruz, you in that nigga head. A real champ could never. Now that Cruz is locked in, she has caught all the way up to second, right behind Storm. Came out the shadows using that drafting technique. And she knew what she was doing too. Cruz had her Siri talking trash to Storm. Siri said, "There is slow traffic ahead, slow traffic ahead." All this ignorance back here got Storm heated.
gonna make
Rhoda
rules
went
to
full
take that
crash
Siri
out
shit
and
out.
started
But
mushing
AI
Cruz
shit out.
against the sidewall, but her plot armor said otherwise, cause she pulled out that old Doc Hudson special, flipping off the wall over Storm for the dub. Had the announcer shocked, the whole stadium going dumb celebrating for Cruz. She had even earned the respect of the other Ali clone-like racers. I swear all these fools are just like reskins of the same car model. Cruz got to the pits and look at Sterling popping off at the mouth from the background like he knew she was that girl. Like, bro, you was just trying to send her packing on her way because she was just trying to watch the race. Get out my face with all
on
that
me.
junk.
You
But
could at
Cruz
least
ain't
let
no
her watch
fool. She told Sterling to eat dookie, and then the Dynaco owner came to offer her the new racing spot, and she quit working for Sterling the dickhead on the spot. And turns out this dub counts as both Cruz's and McQueen's. Hey, McQueen, that dub kind of Mickeyed out if you ask me.
gonna lie, that
But
is-
hey, a
that
dub a
is a
dub.
Mickey
Now
Mouse.
Cruz is a top racer, and McQueen gets to decide when he wants to retire since he won the bet with Sterling. The group heads to Radiator Springs and are all at the old dirt track. Cruz pulls up with her new paint job, had everybody flabbergasted at the trip, and she rocking Doc's old number. But then the freshman OG pulled up, and McQueen paint job is so tough, I can't lie. The navy with the red wheels, that mug goes stupid. We also find out that Tex, the Dynaco owner, bought out Rusty's from Sterling. So now McQueen is Cruz's new pit chief, and the story ends in style. Hey, this movie was definitely a good one to seal off the Cars trilogy. It most definitely.
What a trilogy, man. Man, I don't know if they will ever make a fourth Cars movie, but I'd actually love to see one about maybe Cruz, a Prime Cruz, like Cars 2 is about Prime McQueen. Maybe add some different elements like Cars 2 added different elements as well. This was a good video though. I watched it through its entirety. I'm glad I did. A really good video, and I do expect that I will watch some more of Chijutsu's videos. As usual though, I don't have too much to say. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe so I can continue to keep doing this. And I'll see you guys next time.